What up, y'all? Hope you're doing well. We're here for our weekly manifestation oracle message. Just gonna take a look at the week ahead to see what kind of energy and intention we need to have in regards to our goals and our dreams and the things that we're wanting to make happen. So let's see. I've been filming for the 2026 prediction series, guys. I started before work. I was filming like some astrological notes that are key points for the year ahead, and making an introduction video, and I had to finish it when I got home from work. So you guys, I'm working around the clock recording. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Yeah, lots of big energy over the next year. So very, very exciting readings. All right, so first card out, let's see what we got. Ooh, let's see. Waves of prosperity. Interesting, because when I was shuffling, the treasure chest card also was sort of like revealing itself. It was like leaning up like this, about to flip, and I just kept shuffling. But that is also, about unforeseen windfalls. Waves of prosperity. So new abundance and exciting opportunities are washing over us now. I love that. Very exciting to hear. So I think too, one thing that we have to brace ourselves for, it's like, yes, it's nice to hear that an unexpected windfall is coming, or that waves of prosperity are available to us now. But we have to take action to harness that, right? The potential is there, but we have to take an action to go out and get it. It's not just gonna come in and fall into our laps, right? So whether that action is putting your energy into your spiritual healing and transformation, right? And then also, in addition to that, you are taking divinely inspired action towards your goals. You have like an action plan that you're chipping away at every day. You are making the effort, both spiritually in your internal change and in your internal process, and in your external process, whilst also preparing for what to do in the event that you do have extra resources, right? Because what happens when we have some extra money come into our hands? We blow it on something. So for me personally, there are like, if there are things that I want that are bigger purchases, then I keep those on a list and I plan them for like those major holidays with big sales and things like that. So I'm not just going to make that as an impulse purchase, right? And for the most part, I don't allow myself to just go shopping willy-nilly, right? I plan those kinds of things. But to have a plan for what you do with that extra money, in addition to, okay, so do you have like a need that, like one of those adult needs that needs to be taken care of? It's going to be a money suck, right? Like knowing how to maintain the needs of your life, and making those choices that keep you from getting into those like financial like potholes, and getting stuck there. Also knowing like, okay, I have a savings account set up, a high yield, right? So I know if I have a windfall, I can put it in there. It's going to start earning interest until I can discover maybe a more specific way that I want to put that investment, right, aside. So the wealthy people of the world, they don't become wealthy because of their wages or because of the money they earn through their effort and time. They make their wealth because they invest the money that they do make wisely, right? None of us have the energy and the time with the world the way it is to ever generate real wealth, like just on the sweat of our backs. We have to figure out how to take the resources that we have and grow them, right? The woman of valor in the Proverbs, she considers a field and buys it, right? She takes her resources and invests that into something that's going to yield, and it's going to grow its own fruits, right? So we need to figure out, when we do have a wave of prosperity, what are we going to do with that? how are we going to invest it? Are we going to get it earning interest? Are we going to use it to maybe invest in education that's going to give us a skill that's going to be a high-paying skill, or honing in on the skill that we have, or learning about an aspect of business or entrepreneurship that's going to take us to the next level, right? We need to do something that's going to grow that prosperity and not just dwindle it away, squander it, let it sit and depreciate, or, just waste it on something that is inconsequential. We need to do something with that prosperity. And the first thing that we need to do with the waves of prosperity is to put your tithe aside, take that tithe out. Because really and truly, like the things, the prosperity that comes to us, nothing is really ours. It's all the Creator's. The Creator created it all. The money is the Creator's. It's just that the Creator entrusted us with these resources, knowing and trusting that we would be a good steward and that we would share it with others in the world, right? So the first thing we have to do with our money in order to cleanse it so that it won't generate chaos is give that 10% back to the Creator immediately. Think of it as like tipping the Creator, or, however you want to think of it, to remember that that's something that you need to always do. And so the purpose of that is to continuously share and give so that everyone's taken care of, everyone's okay. I know like some, teachings or schools of thought will tell you that you have to give your tithe to your house of spirituality. I'm not sure if that is a fact or if that's true or if it can go to charity as well, but I personally do tithe my tithe to people with individual needs or to charities. Because I found that I don't go to a church. I attend the Kabbalah Center, so I do support them financially in different ways through things that I do through the center and ways I participate with the center. But I don't go to like a traditional church. And I don't feel drawn to go give them a donation because it seems like it always just stays within the church. There's not like a lot of outreach. It's like they just use it to like make their church bigger and more comfortable and give it to the youth group hangout lounge and things like that. And so some churches do have outreach programs, but it's been very rare that I've heard this. In fact, my family, some members of my family, their ministry is to feed the homeless people on the weekends, and they cook like a potluck thing, and they take breakfast at least a couple of times a month, if not like on a weekly basis. So they are very close with the people at the homeless camp in Nashville, and they would bring these homeless people every now and then to church with them. And the church that they went to actually requested that they stop doing that they stop bringing the people to church, because it was, because fill in the blank, whatever reason that they would want, they would be elitist and not want homeless people, judging the homeless people, thinking that they were going to be up to no good or something, or some kind of threat. But yes, needless to say, the family members ended up going to a different church after that. I have a hair in my eye. It's driving me crazy. So when we share though, that's why I don't necessarily feel so compelled to only tithe to a church. I also tithe to, say, a Muslim charity that is doing work in Gaza. Or I will tithe directly to Palestinians who need the money to reinforce their tent or prepare for winter, or who need, food or whatever. So, when we are given money and God sees that we do sharing acts with that money and we use that money for good, it's like God sees, oh, this is someone who's going to expand that light into the world. let's send this person more resources so they'll continue to share because they've proven that they will do that. So when we take the money and we don't tithe, we don't give a portion, there's no restriction, right? The giving away of some is a practice of trust and restriction, because you are not taking, you're not needing every little bit of it. You have enough abundance, even if it's not enough to make the need that you have, still give that away, because it's an act of trust. It's an act of faith. It's an act of saying, you take care of me, I'll take care of them, you take care of me. And you do it not thinking that anything is going to come in return, but we do it knowing that this isn't ours anyway. That this is ours, that this has been given through us, to channel through us, but not, we aren't owners of this, right? So we give with humility, not with hubris. Give thinking, oh, if only I could do more. I should do more. I wish I could do more. I wish there was more that I had to give more of. I felt that truly, I think, for the first time, like in a deep, profound way, this summer, towards the end of the summer, when the violence was at its peak and people were trying to evacuate North Gaza. And I was trying to donate to as many people as I could to help them get out of the city during those bombardments. And I remember being just so brokenhearted that I didn't have more money. Like I wasn't like a wealthy person, so I couldn't help them all evacuate. But I remember learning that then on a new level, that the importance of sharing and the importance of tithing and seeing how sacred that cycle is of taking care of one another. Because the Messianic era, right, the return of the Messiah, is going to be a time where there isn't anyone going hungry. There's no one left out, right? Everyone is included. Everyone has a seat at the table, right? We aren't free until all of us are free. And we won't be sated until all of us are fed. We will just still have that empty, endless pit of greed. Take. Give me. I want to block it all out. I want to stuff it all down. I want to numb it all. But we can't, because we feel the suffering of other people, even if we don't put two and two together. We are all one underneath. And so when one soul is suffering, we can all feel it, right? And so many people run after greed and wealth and power because they think that's going to protect them from the pain, and it doesn't. The only thing that protects us from the pain or soothes the pain or puts the balm on the pain is sharing and giving and putting more love in the world. And that's what gives us deep, abiding peace and fulfillment, right? When we are connecting to the Creator, seeing that He's the source of the sustenance. And so we then take that sustenance and we share also. And that cycle, that flow, that's what gives us the fulfillment, right? Not taking to receive for the self alone, not taking it all, but being able to practice some restriction and say, I don't need to take all of this. I want to share some of this. I want to pay some of this forward. I want someone else to have a piece of the blessing that I have, and I hope that it can multiply for them, right? So waves of prosperity, be prepared to take advantage of the time and space that is opening the opportunity for this possibility of prosperity. Be ready to live into your fullness of potential by showing up, by being disciplined, by being consistent, by showing up and keeping your promises to yourself. And then once the prosperity and opportunity does show up, have an action plan for what you're going to do with it so that you don't become impulsive and then squander it, because that's exactly what the opponent wants you to do. The opponent wants to tempt you to squander your security, what you have earned, what you have worked for, right? So overcome the temptation and know what you're going to do with those waves of prosperity. All right. What is this? Oh, mother healing. Okay, this has been coming up a bunch recently. The themes of mother healing and father healing are coming forward. I mean, we're moving into holiday season, so this is a significant time where we're put in the battlefield. We're in the video game level where we have to go see the family and interact and navigate all of the landmines that might be there, or trying to set new patterns to create new stories. Trying to leave behind the old story with our parents is the hardest, because it's the oldest story, the oldest relationship that we have, right? And God gives us parents with the intensity and buttons that are going to, like, they're going to put triggers and buttons in us. That's what they were given to us for. And we are going to, push buttons and pull triggers in them too, because we were given them as children to do the same back. And it's not necessarily that we were put together to traumatize one another, but the difficult parts of our personalities that rub and are in friction, those are supposed to be there. In Kabbalah, there's a good exercise that says, try to think of 3 difficult reasons why you would have chosen your mother. Like, if you're a soul and you haven't come into the world and incarnated yet, and you knew that you had to reveal certain aspects of yourself in this lifetime, and unless you saw that darkness triggered in you, you wouldn't ever know it. You wouldn't be able to find it to seek it out to transform it. So certain people, certain key players in your life are going to be there, and certain experiences. And so who would you custom choose to be here? How can they specifically drive you insane or break your heart in a specific way? What would leave you the most bewildered, right? What would that do to bring out the strength in you, right? If you have a neglectful father, it might help you become a deeply strong and independent person who doesn't need to be validated, right? If you have, a mother that is, a certain way, it might help you become the person that overcomes that, and it awakens a strength in you because of the experience of your mother, right? So it's always the difficult parts of the other person that we have a hard time accepting, that are usually the very reasons why we were paired with that soul to begin with. So sometimes it's hard to accept, but I think once we find radical acceptance around that, it gives us a relief that helps us move forward and become more empowered to be, more proactively engaged in the relationship with more purpose, right? Oh, this is here to evolve me. Right? I can't evolve someone else, and I can't expect them to. I'm only in charge of myself. I only have control over myself. So if I'm taking full responsibility for my side, okay, why is this person in my life? How can I become more fine-tuned because of the strain here, because of the pain here, because of the opposite and the difficulty of the situation? Not because it's so easy and breezy, right? Those parts are awesome too. But they don't often strike deep change and a deep hunger for change within us. They usually just kind of keep us comfortable and in our ignorant bliss, right? So mother healing is possible. And mother healing is very, 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 it can be life-changing, because the mother wound, it affects our sense of our self-worth. It affects the way we feel about ourselves, right? The mother is the feminine and has effect on the intrinsic realm. It's like the mother affects how we feel about ourselves. And so it doesn't change how worthy we are. We're always 100% worthy, but we don't perceive ourselves this way. And so we are the only thing that turns the light off, right? The light of the Creator is always eternally sharing, always giving us blessing. But if we're not connecting with that blessing, then it's something in our consciousness, something in our energy that's throwing it off. And so we have to feel worthy of our blessing in order to align with it, right? And even though we are worthy, we have to perceive it that way in order to vibrationally match that thing. So when we heal our self-worth, it's not to say that our actual self-worth itself is changing. It doesn't need to fluctuate. It's already at 100%. But our perception and our capacity to feel that worth, that's what heals, that's what changes, that's what deepens, and that's what grows. So as we heal our mother wound, our feelings about ourself and our mother change, and our sense of self-worth is deepened. We have a deeper connection with that. Then our behavior starts to change. We start to show ourselves more respect, and we expect others to show us more respect as well. When we have more self-worth, we start showing up for our dreams, and we're consistent with ourselves, and we care about ourselves, and we take care of business. We stand on business, right? When we care about ourselves, when we feel self-worth. And it's like a positive cycle, because as we show up for ourselves and keep promises to ourselves and keep our boundaries and keep those good habits, then we increase our self-esteem, and our feeling of worthiness is amplified even more. So when we feel worthy, then we have greater opportunities in both love and money, career and finance. We start to have opportunities that reflect back a higher value, because we value ourselves more now, right? Not because we weren't valuable before. We're always 100% valuable. But did we value ourselves before? No, not like where we are in this level, right? And so we start getting better opportunities. We start attracting more money, more prosperity. The same thing happens in love and relationships. It's like when we value ourselves, then other people start to value us too. And we become an attractive person, whether that be as a friend or as a romantic possibility. So healing the mother wound is going to help everything in our lives shift. And we're right at this precipice where we're moving into these new chapters and new cycles. So starting a new chapter and a new cycle with your mother is going to have a sweet and positive effect on those other cycles in your life that are starting now too. So as your feelings towards your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. All right. Ooh, what are these? Morning affirmations. I'm not surprised to see this. This has been coming up a lot. So we've been talking a lot lately about the beginnings of things and the seed levels of things, because we're in the beginning of a new cycle. We've just come through our spiritual new year, so we've been planting seeds for the year ahead. And so the beginning of things, that's the seed level of what we're doing. The morning is the seed level of the day, right? Technically it's midnight, or when the light starts to dawn in, when the light starts to grow. But I guess in a layer by layer, from macro to micro, the day starts when we wake up, right? So when we birth forth our new consciousness into a new day, we are at the seed level of the beginning of it all. And so it's important that our consciousness is in a positive, potent, optimistic, loving, sharing state in the morning. And so one way to do that is to create a routine for ourselves where we start the day, speaking life into it, speaking blessing, and to say these out loud. Because the thing is, there's a power in our words, especially when spoken out loud, even more so than when they're written on the page. They're pretty powerful written on the page, because you're taking a thought and you're taking something from the ephemeral realm, and you're materializing it. You're making something from nothing. You're doing an act of creation. So you're bringing something into the physical that previously didn't exist. There was a void. There was energy crystallized into a consciousness. Consciousness became thought. Thought became a vision, and the vision became a word that we spoke. right? So that is one thing that we share in common with the Creator that none of the other living kingdoms share, is our ability to speak, and that is a magical force that we have. So when we say our prayers, it gives them extra power and extra potency to say those out loud. When we declare positive affirmations, we're speaking blessing and speaking life into our life and into our desires and into our goals, right? So what better time to do this than in the morning at the seed level of the day? I have a waking prayer that I do. It's the Hebrew prayer to say upon waking. So that's the first thing I do when I open my eyes. And then from there, I go to the bathroom and I do a kosher hand washing in the sink with my glass of water from the night before. And I start the day with clean hands, and it kind of cleanses your energy, right? And so in that moment, the next thing I could do is follow up by looking at myself in the mirror and saying a few positive affirmations, even before I go downstairs and get my coffee started, right? So, and then from there, I start my prayer practice that starts my day, and that's how I start my day. So now, you guys, we should incorporate, think of a few really good affirmations that give you positive reinforcement to help you tap into your strengths and your virtue and your good qualities through the day that help you achieve the things that the Creator is calling you towards, that help you see your desires and come into fruition and manifestation, help you draw those in and declare that you're already grateful and for them and excited to be living in that reality already. Say them out loud and then end them with in the name of Christ Jesus, Amen. But you want to definitely say Amen, because that is like sealing the covenant. It's like signing the contract and sealing the deal. All right. And then our last card, watch your thoughts. Again, the consciousness this year. Our entire year ahead of us is going to be created through our consciousness. If our consciousness is in a shitty state, then we are going to have shitty circumstances. If our consciousness is certain and optimistic and excited and passionate and intense and joyous, then we are going to be manifesting some really great things. So our seed level of anything that we're bringing into fruition is our consciousness. And this year has a level of judgment to it. So our year is going to feel very blessed or very cursed. And it's going to depend on where our consciousness is and the seeds that we're planting. So watch your thoughts. It's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear. It is absolutely vital to make that your discipline this year, to really master that as far as that level of self-control over your thoughts and over your musings, over the energy that you entertain. Okay, let's grab a couple of cards from Wisdom from the Hidden Realms. And then there's one, oh my gosh, Sacred Union. I love this. Partnership and romance. So I have been getting messages recently, we've been getting them too in our romance readings, that we have a partner on the way, that there's a soulmate on the horizon. And things have been coming into place and pieces and parts have been aligning, but that this person is nearby. And so there comes a point in our spiritual growth where, like, we go through different seasons. Sometimes we need to be in a season of solitude because that's when we learn how to become dependent on God and not other people. And then we learn how to keep our own tank full. And that's where we learn to stand on our own 2 feet and become independent and be courageous and brave and learn to be resourceful and learn to draw on our deep inner well. And then that well goes dry and then we have to learn how to fill it up again. And so we learn a lot of really important lessons that give us a lot of sturdiness, and they make us really hardy and robust when we are single. We learn to be, okay with solitude and stillness and quiet, and we learn to enjoy our own company, right? But Once we make peace with that and we find a level of acceptance and we're not like needy for a partner anymore, then there's only so long that we can stay in that period before we become rigid and before we start to like go stagnant, right? It's like we've grown as far as we can on our own, and now we need to transcend this newfound independence and learn interdependence, right? Learning the balance of letting someone in, but that doesn't take you over completely. You don't lose yourself. You still maintain, but you can allow someone in and you can integrate your lives together. So then you have to learn how to share and how to compromise and when to hold the boundary, when to stay strong. You know, you learn how to understand and care for another and sacrifice for another and to ask for yourself, right? And to speak up for yourself. And so there's so much that you have to learn in sharing life with another person that you cannot learn on your own. And there are lessons that you have to learn on your own that you can't learn with another person. So I feel like, you know, I've been single for a few years now, and I feel like I could probably be in a healthy place to keep myself whole and integrate with someone else at this point. In fact, the other day we were talking on the channel. I was like, are you guys feeling stagnant? Do you feel like you're getting set in your ways? Because I am dangerously close to becoming rigid and set my ways. God, better send me someone to share life with. So I can get annoyed by their laundry and all that, you know, learn to get over it. I'm entropying. Send me a hottie. So then there's also the sacred union that's going on within us, right? When we learn and when we come to a balance within ourselves of awakened divine masculine and divine feminine qualities within, and we're able to express that spiritual identity of self through our outer expression, and we can actually embody that and become like a reflection of our true self, our true soul, and we can be guided by God and by the Spirit and then take action on it and put that out in the world, then like that's like the merging of our spirit and soul and body on the inside. And that's the closest we can get to that unification with the Creator while we're here on earth in these flesh suits, right? So it's like as that's happening on the inside, then it really makes way and opens the door for divine countership or divine counterpart and partnership to enter our life in a material, literal way as well. So I'm excited. Very good. Sacred union, things coming together, right? And as we generate more unity, that creates more of the idea of things coming together. Queen of the light, I love it. Generating more and more light, illumination, enlightenment, and celebration. So we've worked really hard to overcome our darkness and to really transform that and leave no stone unturned. And we're embracing the struggle and the slog of Scorpio because we're moving the furniture and we're getting all that grime that's built up over time that we haven't had time to attend to because we've had more pressing matters on our plate, right? But now we've done a lot of the heavy lifting and we're going back over things, and we're going back over because we don't want to take that old baggage and that old garbage and that old crap into our new life, into our new house, into our new timeline, into our new identity, this new self, this new chapter, these new cycles. We don't want to bring that into a new relationship. We don't want to bring that into the next chapter of our dreams coming true. We don't want that wet blanket on the situation. We don't want that cloud hanging over us anymore. We just want to reveal more light and more understanding and more wisdom and more love and more creativity, right? And we don't want to be encumbered by like the negativity anymore. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's recircling around about the apartment fire. She was like, I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh my God. Okay, so the dream deck, what is this? Angel Dreams. Angel Dreams Oracle was like screaming at me to pull a card from it. So I got the deck out and this is the card that came out. So dress rehearsal, alternative course, and choices. We are switching paths, right? We can rewrite the script anytime. And so right now we're in the intermission where the scene is being laid behind the curtain. And the pieces of set are being moved into place and people are changing costume and we're getting ready for the next act, right? So there's going to be new characters, new parts of the story happening, and it's all very exciting. And so it's like we've gotten through the introduction and now we're going into like the meat of the beginning of the story. So let's look up dress rehearsal. Dress rehearsal, alternative course, choices. Do not delay in making the choice facing you. This is an auspicious moment to feel out an alternative course of action. Take time to sense your body's reaction to your current circumstances. Rehearse an option you would like. Engage your physical reaction. Note the differences between your current life and the imagined scenario. Go with the choice that makes you feel happier, even if it's a seemingly difficult change. If you would like to try out an alternative in a dress rehearsal dream, focus upon the relevant situation before falling asleep. Upon awakening, notice how you feel and any messages you receive during the dream time. You're being guided to change your course of direction as your current situation no longer serves you. Call upon your support team for help in this life change. So again, just like we've been talking about, and I've been talking a lot about this already in the 2026 prediction series, but drastic major changes are happening now and over the next couple of years. And so we aren't really wanting to take any of the old story, the old identity, the old same old patterns, like none of that into the new timeline, right? So start envisioning what is the life that you want to create. What is the attitude, the mindset you want to be in? How do you want to feel every day moving forward? Get a good idea of that and start rehearsing it in your mind. If you have different options that are presenting themselves to you, get in a deep state of imagination and think about, like, pay attention to how your body feels as you're moving through these scenarios of these different options, right? Your body tells the truth. It's just that we don't often pay close enough attention to what it's telling us, or we don't know how to decipher and discern what it's saying. But you can definitely tell when your body is giving you good feelings and when it's giving you unpleasant feelings, right? And so if your body's giving you a pleasant, good feeling, then that's a good sign. But if it's giving you like stressed feelings or alarmed feelings or warning feelings or sickening feelings or tense feelings or tightening feelings or heavy, tired feelings, that's probably a warning sign. It's probably a red flag. All right, you guys, that is all for tonight. We will be back together tomorrow for our weekly alchemy message. So until then, peace be with you. Ciao.